Go home show. Team Canada's A1, PD Williams, Bobby Roode, and Eric Young face Team USA's Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley, Sanjay Dutt, and Jay Lethal in a World X Cup preview match.
I know you're expecting a lot from me here.
Yeah, I took most of the last match, so this is tell me everything about this match.
Well, all I really remember is that Team USA had a real fucked song.
Oh, so bad.
Like, I don't get what it was meant to be.
Because, like, it was meant to be the do song, but there was, like, the most cursed USA, USA, USA chants at the start of it that were really off-putting.
Yeah, I don't know. And it's really, like, it's a weird month because there's two big, like, USA versus other country feuds going on.
Mm.
And I feel like they could have played into that a little bit, but they didn't really.
Yeah, because we'll talk about the Team 3D stuff in a second, but like the Team 3D stuff started where Team 3D were having like Team 3D Nation flags instead of American flags, which is weird. I would personally not want to be a member of the Team 3D Nation. I would not subscribe to their
ideologies.
Yes, I would like to stay, especially given the face paint Bully Ray wore at the pay-per-view. I would like to stay as far away from that as possible. But I think that was a conscious choice at first because they're like, we're doing a Team USA, we can't do them being Team USA, but then they're like, oh fuck it, it's stupid if they're just not being American.
I think they could have just played into it though, like just had them like do like a 10-man tag or something, you know? Because
they're still feuding with Team Canada, who will still be in the World X Cup, so it's not like half of the feud isn't also in the World X Cup.
Yeah. Of course, the other part of this is that Jerry Lynn does announce that Chris Sabin is the captain of Team USA, and he does it in very like classic Jerry Lynn style, in which he cuts a promo and then he ends it with something loud. I really wanted him to like go like Go USA!
He basically did. It's actually like he peaks the audio when he's like, Go USA! So the story here largely is that Alex Shelley has obviously been palling about with Team Canada and Planet Jarrett for a while now. He's best pals with Eric Young. So the idea here is that he is not exactly a loyal member of Team USA heading into the World X Cup.
Yeah, but I like Shelley's indifference to helping.
He's not a nationalist, Liam.
I'm just realizing, why don't we end the podcast with Adrenaline Rush?
We did once. You demanded I do it, but then they stopped using Adrenaline Rush at the end of episodes, but then they brought it back this month, so I think but I am worried that it's like a library track, so we might get monetized problems with it.
We can use 7 seconds of it, right?
But if it gets caught in the I'll use a little bit of it. A little bit.
Can you get like Adrenaline Rush, and then cut it there?
Yeah, we'll see how much we can get away with it. I'll see, because I'm mostly concerned about posting full episodes on YouTube and whether or not that we make any fucking money. We make 15 cents anyway. But I want that.
But you know, when we blow up.
Yeah, so I want to make sure we don't run into problems using it because it's not a TNA track. It is so far as I'm aware, a library track because other people have used it.
We're allowed to use TNA tracks.
Yeah, well, no one will give out to me for that because I'd be the one giving out to me.
But yeah, Adrenaline Rush. I got really distracted. I also looked up at the timer on the podcast recording and thought it said 9 hours.
We haven't been here that long. It's only currently 3:53.
I was like, holy shit.
You talked through the entire night.
I was like, I went, how long was I looking at Casino Cinema?
You were gone there for a while, to be fair.
I'm so sorry. I got so like, I thought I got a lead when I found that the name of the episode was Total Nonstop Action.
I wonder if there are like any clips. Should go look for that at some point.
I found one. I found a clip of was Guzman on it.
Oh, Luis Guzman.
Yeah, he did an appearance, but that's the only footage I could find.
I only know Luis Guzman from the community bit, where like he's a graduate of Greendale Community College. He's like the famous celebrity who comes back to Greendale. It's like our former student Luis Guzman. But yeah, the highlight of this 8-man tag is Eric Young takes a drop kick from Jay Lethal and takes the wildest bump you have ever seen for a missile drop kick. Like he takes a full overhead bump.
He like floats like almost out of the like. You'll see people kind of take that bump now where they'll float out and they'll go out to the floor. But except he doesn't.
Yeah, he bounces off the ropes, comes back, and does another, like, spin. It's insane. Lethal makes incidental contact with Shelley, which allows A1 to pin him with a pump handle slam, and then Team USA is mad at Alex Shelley.
As they should be, to be honest.
Yeah, you also have a feature on Joe versus Sabu on that show. And they also announced during that match that Daniels will face a mystery opponent at Lockdown. So those are our X Division matches. And we have one more thrown on for good measure. We have an escape match that gets no build. Lockdown, multiple X Division matches, starting with Team Japan's Black Tiger Minoru Tanaka and Hiroki Goto facing Team USA's Alex Shelley, Sanjay Dutt, and Jay Lethal.
What a wild combination of people.
Black Tiger, Minoru Tanaka, and Hiroki Goto.
I mean, it's awesome. It's an awesome match. But, like, I don't know. Like, it's just a weird one that you should go out and probably just see.
Yeah, it's a fun combination of guys. It's not like a blow away best match ever, but it's really cool to see these guys working, and they work really hard. And there's lots of like cool like triple team stuff in it. Like they work as trios, which I really enjoy. I always like when trios work as trios instead of just like three guys who happen to be teaming together. They did take the cursed USA chants off of the Team USA song here.
Bullshit.
I think they realized how demonic they were, which is actually quite fitting for America, but still.
Yeah, it's very appropriate.
Shelley, when making his entrance, offers his camera to Soul Calval for safekeeping.
I'm trying to see how many matches Goto had in North America.
Mike today does note this is his North American debut.
He does TNA.
He did some Ring of Honor.
He did ROH in 2015. But yeah, this is his only ROH New Japan American shows.
Because he's never been over for Forbidden Door either, has he?
Yes, he was.
Oh, he did one of the pre-show match. Yeah.
Yeah, and he did a Rampage tag with the Bucks. They did Bishamon versus the Bucks.
So yeah, he's done a few bits and bobs.
What a weird match. But yeah, he's never had an extended stay. His excursion was Mexico.
And he's not really one of the guys who was like one of the regular go-to guys to come to America, like an Ishii has become.
Hiroki Goto versus Shocker for the NWA International Junior Heavyweight title.
Hey, you might get some Goto and Shocker interaction in this World X Cup.
He was doing Torimon Mexico as well as CMLL.
So Team Mexico's Shocker, Puma, and Magno appear on the ramp. We'll have lots to talk about Team Mexico in a moment. And the ordeal it seemed to be to put together a Team Mexico team for this tournament. Shelley goes for a super kick, but Goto moves and Shelley nails Dot. Tanaka super kicks Lethal, tees up a Black Tiger suplex for the win. Team Japan pick up the victory. Team USA continues to be in shambles.
Oh yeah, because they have one guy who's kind of working for the other teams.
Yeah, even the Japanese guys. Because I was thinking like Shelley starts the match with Minoru Tanaka, and I think Shelley would probably get an extreme kick out of working with Minoru Tanaka.
I'm sure that they might have done some stuff elsewhere, right?
Was Minoru Tanaka still kicking about in 2011, 2012? We watched 2012. Yeah, he wasn't there, so.
But Shelley did 0-1 and stuff, but they might have missed each other. Yeah, look.
TNA is hammering out the details of the upcoming World X Cup tournament.
They sure are.
There will be no UK teams due to scheduling conflict with Doug Williams and Nigel McGuinness. TNA management scouted several wrestlers for Team Mexico during a visit to CMLL several months ago. However, there were many conflicts trying to get the desired talent into Orlando for the tournament. TNA will now be working with AAA. Shocker is expected to return to Orlando representing Team AAA and Team Mexico.
It's kind of crazy that they have a Team AAA and a Team New Japan.
Yeah, in the same tournament. And they tried their damnedest to get CMLL in this damn thing, so...
I found something very interesting while looking for this. There is a Motor City Machine Guns versus Daisuke Sakamoto and Masato Tanaka match.
That's a random combination of people. When, 2006?
From 2008.
Really?
In Ryogoku Kukukukugaken.
Nailed it.
At 1:30 a.m.
That's 01, is it?
It seems to be like a cross promotion kind of show, like a produce show or something.
Because the Guns would have been New Japan regulars at that point, right? Or maybe just short of being. Maybe 09 when they started doing matches with No Limit and Devitt and Taguchi.
Oh, there seems to be a fair bit of New Japan on here, of TNA on here. Because there's Christopher Daniels versus Akuto Hidaka, Eric Young, Kohei Sato, and Masahiro Chono versus Dick Togo, Don Fry, and Scott Norton.
Dream match.
Yeah, wild. What a weird show this is. Alright. That was the main event too.
All sorts of things have come up regarding International and the World X Cup due to dealings with both New Japan and CMLL, or in the latter case, a lack of dealings. After first being given the okay from Mystico, Ultimo Guerrero, Rey Bucanero, and Ultimo Dragon for the X Cup, which will start at the TV tapings following lockdown, and the preview matches at lockdown. There were all sorts of problems dealing with TNA. For some reason, TNA sent in a second list of talent, which included Perry Aguirre Jr., Mephisto, and Averno, which they thought was approved, but then CMLL sent back a list of talent they were willing to send, and the key was, not one person TNA requested was on the list. At the same time, Antonio Pena, who has booked Jeff Jarrett and other TNA wrestlers, complained to Jarrett that he was using their talent. It would be like him sending talent to WWE for them to be using CMLL talent, so he felt a little jilted, as they always do. At this point, it looks like it'll be AAA with Shocker and Abismo Negro, both of whom have worked for TNA before. Conan heavily pushed a Tijuana flyer called Extreme Tiger because they wanted a high flyer on the team, and there are several names being talked about regarding the fourth position, including Zoro Oriental and Zumbido.
Okay.
Extreme Tiger, you know how that is, don't you?
Extreme Tiger.
He's Tigre Uno.
Yeah. I knew that. I did not click that, like, that time period would work out.
Yeah, he's been around for fucking ever, and future X Division champion. Pena is trying to send Oriental and Charlie Manson, although if TNA uses him, I'd expect a name change, says Dave. The name La Parca has been considered since he's probably the most popular wrestler in AAA, but the overall feeling on him is negative because the feeling is the American fans will see it as them putting a fake guy in a La Parca outfit and reject him. They're like they'd fucking care, by the way. Like the American fans take super seriously the La Parca lore. There's also a newcomer out of Quidaz, Juarez places, who doesn't have a national name in Mexico City, but is said to be a strong flyer who is under consideration. Dave does not name that person, but who knows who it could be. On the Japanese side, the only change for the X Cup is for the better. Hiroki Goto is in for Gedo.
And then they fucked up the UK team.
Yeah, they're just gone.
God, we could have got Nigel and Doug.
Yeah, and Johnny Storm and Jody Fleisch.
That's a much better Team UK.
But they're gone. They're not in. Dave offers the latest craziness on Team Mexico. Antonio Pena has been unable to be reached because he was at a party and his cell phone was stolen. Somehow the person who wound up with it and found out it was Pena's was trying to find him and get it back to him. There were attempts to contact Shocker, but his girlfriend said he was on tour for 3 weeks, which Dave says sounds like code for something else. And he's no-showed he's in the doghouse in AAA, apparently, because AAA doesn't have 3-week tours. Abismo Negro may also be unavailable. Extreme Tiger and Moscow de la Merct, which might be the other flyer he was talking about, don't have valid working papers, and Moscow doesn't even have a tourist visa, and there's not time to take care of it. The Mystico and Juarez, who has a new name now, is out with a broken hand, but would be back in time. Magno, who is 6'1" from El Paso, has been talked about because he's 21 and can speak some English.
Now. We are definitely the podcast to handle this.
Yeah, I'm definitely the guy who runs Lucha Blog, actually. I never told you that, but I'm the man behind the blog.
Oh my God.
I know Magno, though he's a future Ring of Honor guy. Has been talked about because he's 21 and can speak some English, which is the reasons they wanted Shocker. The whole problem with CML is that Paco Alonso's business is great right now and doesn't want to do anything to interrupt the momentum or have his guys get exposure elsewhere. His feeling is that if he lets any of his top guys go to TNA, if they get over, TNA will want them for more dates and try to hire them. Or if they get over, someone in WWE might see them and want to hire them before TNA offers them a contract. That doesn't stop them from taking Mystico from me anyway, guys. Either way, it does him
like
no...
2 years?
Yeah, it's not too long after this, is it? Remember when they made such a big deal about them signing Mystico?
Well, it felt like a big deal.
Yeah, and then they absolutely fucked it. And now he's the biggest star in the world again.
Good work. Can't keep a good man down.
Either way, it does him no benefit to allow his talent to have options, and he doesn't want anyone to do anything that can mess with his current winning formula. Alonso remembers in 1992 when the last period of business being through the roof was killed, when he had a mass exodus of talent with the forming of AAA. He's worried that in the TNA environment that Conan is there, and Conan may try and make contact with them, and for any projects he might have in the Lucha Libre world, or try to convince him to work AAA, as it isn't like he wasn't involved in some of last year's talent raids. So that's a lot of messiness about putting together this Team Mexico. That is an absolute disaster. So they end up on the pay-per-view, they show Shocker, they show Magno, and they show famous Mexican Puma who has been drafted in. They also get Incognito, who would go on to become fake Sin Cara.
Oh yes. So they did it before WWE even could. They
technically got the Mystico they always wanted. Just before he even knew he was Mystico. And another note, Nasawa from All Japan wanted to move to Orlando and work in TNA as a regular, but there doesn't seem to be interest in him. So Christopher Daniels has a mystery opponent on the pay-per-view. It is a wrestler I've never heard of. It's Senshi?
Senshi. Shenron.
Remember when Del Rios appeared as a fake Scott Steiner?
Yeah.
I think this guy's just a fake Loki.
Yeah, because if it was Loki, they'd just call him Loki.
Yeah, they just call him Loki. Why would they not call him Loki? Unless they suddenly wanted... I love the Warrior bit of the Paparazzi Productions. Warrior. Warrior. You said Warrior to all 5 of these. Can you not tell me that this looks a little bit like Jim Hellwig? So yeah, it is the returning Loki, the former Triple X partner. Mike Tenay announces that his name is now Senshi. He's announced as formerly known as Loki. It's Senshi.
All right.
He didn't want to sign over the name. That's basically it. Which, fair play.
Yeah, he should have been Loki. Loki.
And when he comes back, he is Loki. The multiple other times
Because
he
at that point, they
returns.
don't care about the name.
Yeah, they're not being bitches about it. And it just speaks to them just being like petty little insecure WWE wannabes at this point, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, we want to own your name. Oh, fuck off.
But it's not like they're doing it for everyone. It's so weird.
It's just the guys signing new deals, it seems. I do think, like, there is... I'm pretty sure TNA has, like, marketing rights for certain individuals that don't work there anymore just because they sign deals like this.
That's awesome.
But yeah, Daniels Loki, it's a good match. It's not a great match. It's a pretty solid, decent match. Not much heat, but it is the second match on the show, so they're not going wild.
It's just kind of interesting to see Key back.
Daniel suplexes Senshi into the cage at some point, and I'm kind of interested about how you agent a show like this.
Yeah, like who can do what cage spots. Like, what story can you tell in the cage? Because it's going to be used over and over and over again.
Yeah, so like you have seven matches, I think, on the show, plus an arm wrestler. So you're like, which of these matches deserve, like, who gets to dive off a cage? Like, Chase Stevens does, Christian does. So like, how do you decide who gets to dive off a cage? Who gets to suplex somebody into a cage? Or like, because the opener is the 6-man tag, and that really doesn't use the cage at all. Like, they do just do a match that happens to have a cage around it. It is interesting, like the psychology of building an all steel cage match pay-per-view so you don't burn people out too much on cage spots. Daniels hits the BME, but Senshi kicks out. Senshi reverses the Angel's wings into a pin, puts his feet on the middle buckle to score the win. And I had a question. It's like, is that illegal?
In a cage match?
Just in general.
I think it would be illegal. It's still the ropes.
Is it still the ropes, though?
Well, if you were in a submission and you grabbed the turnbuckle, would it be a rope break?
No one's ever done it. I don't know.
I don't think it is, because you can, because people climb it, right?
Yeah, and they don't break the hold.
I don't know, we need a ref.
We do. Slick Johnson, fellow bald man for these men, did not see it, so he didn't make a call either way. But I was thinking about that. It's like, feet on the middle buckle. It's like, which actually created a nice visual in terms of the leverage. It did look good. But I'm like, is that technically illegal in wrestling lore?
I don't know.